Welcome everybody, I'm Joshino and today it's time again for some spicy speculation. This time on the new champion coming, probably in 1.9, called Imani. So that is part of the data mine that the name has come forth as Imani. The code name used to be Mage. I actually thought this champion was going to come forward earlier, but it seems to be pushed back again. There was previous data mining of this champion showing them with some kind of like charged fireball type attack that they fired at enemies, which you can see in the gameplay below, and also the link to the source will also be in the description if you want to check that out. But be sure to let me know all of your spicy speculation in the comment section below. Big thing about this champion is that they seem to be a sort of mix between an ice mage and a fire mage, and they can almost switch equipment just like Strix can switch between his sniper rifle and his pistol. This champion can switch between their fire mode and their ice mode. Obviously this is just a data mine. This time around Paladins Poland have been looking in the files and pulled it out, and everything can change before this is released. However, I think it's probably likely that this champion will be announced at hi-rez in 2 weeks, and probably will be in patch 1.9 as a sort of a big announcement whilst they're at the show. But anyway, let's just go through what these abilities are and the way they sort of interact with frost and fire. And it seems that there is some kind of dragon familiar with this champion, and that is with the ability Dragonflight, which is what their escape. So you summon a dragon and it speeds up the speed of movement. So it sounds almost like you're mounting this dragon, having a temporary mount whilst you are in the match. And it could be that this dragon is also the source of your power too. In Dota 2, Jakiro is a dragon that has two heads with an ice and a fire head, so perhaps maybe even you have two dragons that you summon for yourself, a fire dragon and an ice dragon, or something similar to like a two-headed dragon that's both fire and ice that you use to channel your power through. There's also a ability called Frost Bomb and Blast Bomb, which I think is both from the ice and the fire. It seems that it can be manually detonated, so something along the lines of Bomb King's attacks. Although it could be just that these projectiles can be blown up along their path wherever if they're just about to miss somebody. And the thing that's different about this champion is that it seems they have a mana pool. So this will be the first champion with mana, although you could say that Koga does kind of have their own mana pool with their energy. It's sort of separate to the normal ability cooldowns. So we might have something similar here with Imani, where you're basically trying to manage your abilities within your mana pool with where you're going to switch. Are you going to use this certain attack or this certain ability? Like if you use one ability twice, it might get rid of all your mana, whereas if you use some of your smaller abilities, then you'll use less. I think things like that could be interesting again, and it was interesting with the Koga to sort of manage your energy, so it could be managing your mana a little bit here too. The other interesting thing and the other point towards that there is a dragon involved is the ultimate is that it causes a pet, although it also has a name of an Imani here, which deals damage to enemies. And again, is this going to be a dragon that you summon that comes out and fights for you? Is it going to be a bit like the Overwatch Ashes Bob, where you have a creature come out, an NPC, that will start attacking the nearest enemies? Because that could be rather interesting. We used to have the Ying illusions that used to be attacking illusions. So before, if you didn't know, Ying used to be a damage champion. The illusions would attack the nearest enemies. And the same, we've got barracks, turrets and things like that. But we haven't got anything that's sort of the next level up, the next step up, which would be something that could follow an attack. Something more like the Mage's Familials in WoW, where you have these two elementals, either fire or water elemental, that can go in and attack enemies and sort of follow them around and do some damage. Maybe even you can sort of command them or point them towards a target. That would be rather interesting. The only thing here is though, is the dragon called Imani perhaps? Or is the character named Imani? The thing about Imani, the name, is it's an Arabic name borrowed from Swahili, and it means faith. It is a female name, so this is going to be a female champion. However, there isn't really much lore on sort of African dragons or sort of Islamic dragons. I was trying to do a little bit of research into it. I mean, there did seem to be some little points towards dragons sort of in Islamic culture, but however, there is Bahamut, which in like gaming culture now is a dragon, but used to be sort of a gigantic sort of sea monster in Arabic. sort of mythology in Arabian Nights, but not quite the same as a dragon in sort of Western culture, thinking of like saints slaying dragons, this sort of medieval mythology about these big creatures that breathe fire and things like that. But I do think it could be that you have this sort of familial pet that you switch around. Either there's two of them, and there's a frost one and a fire one, or it's sort of like a frost and fire dragon that you sort of switch around, maybe with two heads, maybe like Jakiro in Dota 2, that you use to sort of switch around with your abilities, with your attacks, whilst you are fighting in the realm. And sort of like a summoner, maybe it follows you around over your shoulder a bit, like Cassie's Zig follows her around, but then maybe gets bigger or comes and floats underneath you when you want to go faster. So with the Dragonflight, you start riding around on it a little bit. It could be a bit like the Mage run, to be fair, but in this case, the dragon actually goes underneath you and is just like temporarily there. The other thing we did see in the original data mine was sort of like a Charlene drawback attack with fireballs, although that could have been very, very early data mining and that might have been cut. So we might have something more along the lines of what we see here in the Frost Bomb and the Blast Bomb, as maybe even close to a main attack, or maybe not. Again, this is most likely going to be a damage champion, but my guess, between the fire and the ice, it worked like most games works. So the fire is the main damage dealer, maybe more AoE, area of effect, maybe even dot damage, some damage over time, and the frost damage maybe slows and sort of is the crowd control element of the kit. So you have to sort of decide whether you want to slow people down, get them crowd controlled for the enemies to be taken out by your allies, or whether you're going to just go straight in and go ham with your own fire attacks, and sort of balancing between those two. There's also some lore questions with the Dragon's Call sort of being a big element at the moment. Is she tying into the Dragon's Call with perhaps the Dragon's Gauntlet? Does she claim it after Dredge failed to wield its power? Has she been able to harness the power of the dragon? Although it didn't seem like that was an ice dragon, it just looked like a straight up beastly fire dragon that came into the realm and did not like Dredge at all. But did Imani pick up that gauntlet or find that gauntlet while she was out sailing or something like that? Or maybe she was like one of the descendants of the Dragon's Warders, or just part of an ancient sect that always wanted to try and steal the gauntlet but didn't have a chance until the Paladins and the Magistrate were at war fighting over it. Didn't get her chance when Dredge attacked either. Either way, this is going to be the first champion that will use those out of mana lines, which were put into the game early on when they were still experimenting with different mechanics in the game in the alpha. Again, most likely a female, seeing as Imani is a female name, unless the name Imani is referring to the dragon, the pet familial, rather than the actual character herself, but I find that unlikely, seeing as that usually when we get the data mine at this level with a name, it usually is a name rather than the codename. The codename used to be Mage. But be sure to let me know all of your spicy speculation in the comment section below. And also, there is a bit of a data mine with 4 of some new chests. So there seem to be 3 sort of recoming back chests, not remix. So there's a Rise of Furia, there's a Siege of Ascension's Peak, and a Dragon's Call chest. So it seems that they're going to maybe put the old exclusive items, which were meant to be exclusive, into some chests, which people may be or may be unhappy about, but maybe they're just the inexclusive items. We'll just have to see anyway. But there's also an upcoming event-looking chest. I don't think this one is one of the chests we've seen before, unless this is like a sort of galactic chest that's been reduxed. But there's basically 4 chests here that have been data mined. Again, much prefer direct purchase, battle passes and things like that, but there we go. This is just a little bit of spicy speculation, folks. What do you think about the new chest? What's going to be in that? It looks like it's got blood transfused all around it, so it could be some sort of like vampiric chest, but we'll just have to see on that one. Anyway, be sure to let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think Imani will turn out as in the end? What about these chests? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. If we see any more spoilers, we'll probably have another video. But anyway, thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Joshino.